Good day. Thank you for joining us on this video. And today's topic is the issue of a notice of intention to defend. If you watch any of our previous videos, we also dealt with the issue concerning a notice of intention to oppose. But today we're dealing with an issue of the notice of intention to defend. Now, in short, if somebody takes you to court, as they would say, issues a summons. Let's say someone owes you money and you want to claim that money from that person, and you issue a summons. That person, if he or she wants to defend the matter, will have to file a notice of intention to defend. Now, you can compare a notice of intention to defend with a notice of intention to oppose. And in a previous video, we dealt with that, where a notice of intention to oppose deals to a matter relating to an application. So if somebody filed an application to court with an affidavit to have you evicted in the previous example, you would file a notice of intention to oppose. And later on, you file a answering affidavit or an opposing affidavit, and the applicant in that matter will file a replying affidavit, and the matter will be argued. In action proceedings, where a person issued a summons, where Mark Adams, the plaintiff in the specific example, issued a summons against Kathy Adams, Kathy will file a notice of intention to defend, informing the court and, of course, informing Mark Adams that Kathy Adams, the defendant, intends to defend this matter. Now, in our example, and of course, if you want to file your own notice of intention to defend, you basically start with the following. Kindly take notice that the above mentioned defendant, in this case, Kathy Adams, hereby enters an intention to defend the above action. So everybody knows, although Kathy Adams received a summons from Mark for money owing to Mark, she wants to defend this matter. She is of the view she does not owe Mark any money, or she has a defense, or she owes him less than what Mark says Kathy owes him. And she wants to defend this matter. She's informing the parties, or she's informing the plaintiff in this matter, Mark, that she intends to defend this matter, the summons that has been filed. And she informs him further, kindly take notice further, that the defendant hereby provides the address below, at which address she will accept service of all processes, notices, and documents in this action. Important to note that in litigation, there are documentation that will have to be exchanged. So in this specific example, Mark Adams issued a summons. The summons basically told her that he's taking her to court, and that document was served upon her with a particulars of claim. Now, the particulars of claim is the document where he outlines the elements of why he says she owes him the money. So he will basically say, besides who he is, who she is, that on a certain date he borrowed her money. The understanding was that she would pay him back within a month's time. The month has passed and she hasn't paid him back and she owes him the money. So that's basically the particulars of claim. Now, if Kathy Adams wants to defend this matter, she needs to file a plea. She needs to plead to that particulars of claim. Now, where does she send that plea to? Or where does he send a response to the plea or whatever further document she has filed, if he is allowed to do so? She provides an address below where those documents can be filed or served to. Now, remember, in Mark Adams Summons, he would have stated, this is my address and this is where you can serve documents. She, in her notice of intention to defend, will do the same and say, this is my address, this is where you can serve documents on. However, since COVID-19 and a bit before that, people started using email and various other electronic means to serve documents. Back in the day, it used to be fax as well. Here, Kathy Adams, being the defendant, she says she consents to service of any process via the email address kathyadams@kathymail.com. This is obviously a fictitious email address, but she says she consents to that. Going forward, should Mark and Kathy now decide to change documents, they can use the email addresses. If that doesn't work, they can obviously serve it upon that address. But email seems to be the way people are moving going forward. What Kathy will do is she will sign this document. It's obviously dated. And she will provide her address, a contact number, and email address. The Western Cape High Court is currently online, but just providing you with how it's usually done. If it is a court that is online, after she has sent this document to Mark, she would obviously upload it onto the system, the court online system or the case line system. But here we're dealing with the matter, how it's usually being dealt with, and generally all magistrates courts are not online. She will provide Mark's details below because the document will also have to go to Mark. To put it into context, what happens next? She signs this document, she sends it to Mark, and now Mark knows that she is defending this matter. Does it come to an end there? Does it mean that she can sit back and do nothing? No, she cannot just sit back and do nothing. What she has to do, she now has to file a plea, as I mentioned earlier on. And that document needs to be filed. If she does not do so, there are rules in the court. Mark can file a notice of barring her from filing it, and he can set the matter down undefended. So therefore, she needs to file a plea. And maybe a counterclaim. It's possible that Mark has borrowed Kathy some money, but she also borrowed him some money, or he knocked into her car, or something to that effect, whereby she is now entitled to claim from him as well. She may decide to file a counterclaim as well. So she will plead to Mark's particulars of claim, and with that she will file a counterclaim. Now the counterclaim will basically be the same as Mark's particulars of claim, saying that he knocked into her car on a certain date, the damages were so much, and he never repaid her for that. So his claim against Kathy for borrowing could be 100 rand, but the damages on the vehicle could be 200 rand. And so her counterclaim is double what she owes Mark. Then Mark will get an opportunity to file a plea, basically, to her counterclaim. And that's how it generally goes. There are further pleadings that are possible depending upon the nature of the matter. However, I will not deal with that in this specific video. It's very important to note that when a person files a notice of intention to defend, he or she must ensure that they know the rules of court. It's very important. Otherwise, it's best to get an attorney to assist you. Therefore, our advice to you is, firstly, see if you can afford the services of an attorney. If you cannot, of course, you can deal with the matter on your own. I hope this assisted you with understanding what is a notice of intention to defend, and good luck with your matter.